Hello and welcome once again to Santiago, Chile, the heartbeat of South American hoops this week, and the proud hosts of the 2025 FIBA AmeriCup here in this beautiful venue, the Colectivos de Deportes in Santiago, Chile. Group E action as we see Team USA taking on Puerto Rico. Some fans from the United States have made a trip down here to South America, as have fans from Puerto Rico. Here's the schedule of the day for Group B. We just watched Colombia defeat Mexico in impressive fashion. They came out, got their first win in Group B, and now sit in second spot with 4 points. They've played 3 games. Team USA topping the group right now, looking to stay perfect. And Puerto Rico would love to have an upset win here tonight. As we get introduced to Team USA, allow us to reintroduce ourselves. Carla Gay alongside Amy Oliver. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Amy, Team USA hasn't had much trouble so far through their first 2 games. This is really the first real test here in the group.
Yeah, they're going to be playing against some familiar faces, players that they've battled against internationally, but also collegiately, because it is a younger Team USA. They will still, there's familiarity, if you will, on the other side, but for Team USA, they've switched their starting lineup up a couple times. They can kind of go so many different ways, so we'll see what Carol Lawson goes with tonight very shortly. But listen, they had a great win last night. Their first quarter was their best quarter, and Coach Lawson was really impressed with the purpose and intensity that they came out with, and so that's got to be top priority right now. Is just come out strong, come out with that business-like approach that we've seen so far.
It is a young roster, but as you mentioned, they have been here with a business-like approach, and the starts have been favorable for them. They have a big point differential right now sitting in Group A. They come into tonight with a plus 98 advantage. That will help them if there's any tie-break scenarios. On the other side, Puerto Rico 1-0. They squeaked one out against Colombia in a game where they didn't play their best basketball. But when you get a win, you feel better about yourself. But hopefully, they know that there's another level that you get to, and they're going to need to get to it tonight. Yeah,
that's just it. When you squeak out a win and you didn't play your best, and it was the first game of the tournament, you kind of reset mentally, right? You go, you did what you need to do. It's all about going 1-0, waking up in the morning and going 1-0, the most simplest form for an athlete. But this is a huge test. This isn't just if you don't play well, you won't just win. You're gonna not be very proud of yourself, right? And so there's a different kind of matchup tonight for the Puerto Ricans. But I do believe that they're aware and ready for it.
Yeah, very together unit, this Puerto Rican basketball team. We'll talk more about that as we go on through the night. Jacqueline Benitez, the last one to run through the tunnel for Puerto Rico, as they line up on opposing free throw lines, and we'll get set to hear the national anthems for both these teams, first from Team USA, then from Puerto Rico. Playing of the national anthems and the traditional exchange of gifts before we do battle here tonight as Team USA takes on Puerto Rico. We've met the two teams. Now a chance to meet the third team on the floor, the three officials who will be in charge of keeping this game in check. Daniel Alberto Garcia Nueves, the crew chief from Venezuela. Roberto Fernando Diaz from Costa Rica. And Diego Chiconato from Brazil. Three of the best officials here in the Americas. And we're set for a good one. Starting five for Team USA. As you said off the top, Amy, they've been playing around with that starting five. And we get a new starting five for this game. Hidalgo, Blakes, Madison Booker, Kennedy Smith, and Joyce Edwards.
This is a defensive starting lineup. My gosh, keep your eye on Kennedy Smith in particular, but Joyce Edwards around the rim. Hannah Hidalgo is fast, so clearly Kara Lawson wants stops off the bat.
Head coach of Team USA, Kara Lawson. She was the head coach of the women's gold medal 3x3 team at the Tokyo Games in 2021. Won a gold medal herself playing in 2008 and played in this very tournament back in 2007 in the AmeriCup. On the other side, it is Puerto Rico, their starting five. Brianna Jones, Hollingshed, Ariela Girantes, Trinity San Antonio, and India Pagan. Pagan and Girantes going to have to play bigger than their size here tonight for Jerry Batista.
Yeah, and keep an eye on Maya Hollingshed as well. She had a brilliant opening round game. I thought it was really, really strong for her team.
Head coach Jerry Batista been a part of this program since 2014. He's taken them to 2 Olympic Games, their first ever qualifications on the women's side. He is a living legend on the island of Puerto Rico and is no stranger to tough competition here at the AmeriCup.
He brought the Puerto Ricans to 2 Olympic appearances. In fact, this Puerto Rican team, 9 of the players on this roster played in Paris last summer. So when you talk about understanding compete level at that stage, this group knows that, no doubt. And actually, of those 9, 6 of them had started at least 1 game. So the big lights, not a factor.
Yeah, definitely don't scare them. Inside of a minute, countdown to tip-off presented by Tissot as we get set for Team USA and Puerto Rico to do battle the final game here of match day number 3. And the third game for Team USA. They've been able to cruise in their first 2 outings. Game number 1 against Chile, it was a sold-out arena here, jam-packed, a lot of emotion, a lot of energy. Chile fought for the first quarter, and then Team USA locked in defensively and were able to run away with that one. A similar story against Colombia yesterday. Colombia hung around for about a quarter, and then Team USA locked in. You wonder if Puerto Rico presents a different matchup. As you mentioned, Amy, they have the experience. They know what this is about. They played at a high level before, and the togetherness.
Team USA did not shoot the ball particularly well consistently last night, but they had 30 offensive rebounds. And you don't have to shoot the ball well at all, but when you're generating 30 second chance opportunities, there's a really good shot that you're going to compete, if not take that game. And so something to keep your eye on. The Americans obviously have been dominating the boards, points off turnovers. It's been defense to offense. I'm expecting that look again with this lineup.
They're averaging 60 rebounds is Team USA in this tournament. Puerto Rico going to have to keep them off the glass. Off we go. Puerto Rico with the first possession in the white uniforms, going from left to right. Team USA defending here in their road uniforms. Carla Gay alongside Amy Audibert. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, however you're doing so. Girantes, one of the leading scorers for Puerto Rico, tosses up a wild shot that time. She's averaging 15 points per game through this tournament. Madison Booker back the other way. Smith will tee up a 3, hits the top of the glass, and San Antonio will push. Unable to cross over as Hidalgo got back. San Antonio somehow gets the ball back, and early offense is going to be key for Puerto Rico, going up against a not set Team USA defense. Blakes will tee up a 3. She gets fouled. She'll go to the line for 3 shots.
you're always walking that fine line against the Americans. You've already seen early defensively what they're capable of. The first possession of the game was a tough contested shot, and then just even in transition. And so for Puerto Rico, it's that, I call that the be quick, don't hurry offense. You want to make quick decisions. You certainly want to take open, good shots when they're there, because if you settle too much into a half court, you're probably going to have to take tough contested shots down in the shot clock.
Caleb Blake's last season at Vanderbilt, a terrific campaign for her. 23 points per game. Shot 34% from three-point range. Just a sharpshooter, and she started this tournament with the ability to hit from deep. Joe will make 2 of those 3 free throws to tie the game up at 2. Here's Brianna Jones. Girantes working on Madison Booker. Girantes crossing over, getting to the paint, tossed it up, didn't touch the rim, so the shot clock doesn't reset. And Edwards fires a pass up to Blinks, who blows the layup. Jones, San Antonio, Pagan at the nail, pulls, left it on the front of the rim, and Edwards will clear. A helter-skelter type of game won't favor Puerto Rico. They kind of need to slow things down and minimize possessions in this game. Hidalgo to the rim. She's so quick. Can't get it to go. Edwards on the offensive rebound. Edwards weaving through traffic, finally kicks it up. Good ball movement by the Americans. It's Hidalgo to the basket. Counted and the foul.
That great patience and ball movement from USA, and it looked like Hidalgo was going to pull. It's kind of that extra pass to the corner. It's a rhythm shot, but she took the first step and just a little bit of contact, but finished through it. It's a really nice second chance opportunity for the USA. And Joyce Edwards is a star. She's a star now. She's going to be a brighter, bigger star as she continues to grow at the ripe age of 19, but she creates so many second chance opportunities for her team, as you saw her on that possession, get the rebound, but then also maintain through pressure.
She's been terrific in this tournament so far, clogging up the lane defensively, being a rim protector. Here she is trying to be at the level of the screen and coming up with a steal.
And the hustle, look at that.
Look at that effort by Joyce Edwards.
Secure that steal.
It's not only her offense, but her defense getting a lot of shine here at the AmeriCup. Madison Booker, mid-range assassin, knocks it down.
What a pass from San Antonio in transition, and a nice finish from Pagan. But that's how the Puerto Rico's going to, I think that's their best opportunities to score, on the run and in transition. And San Antonio has the ability to make those passes.
And quickly back the other way, it's Hidalgo with the layup. It's really a tough cover for the Puerto Rican guards to stay in front of Hannah Hidalgo. Hollingshed. Girantes penetrating, spins in the lane, nice move, and she gets to the cup and gets fouled. She'll earn her trip to the line.
Look at this pass right here, one hand off the bounce. This is a matchup right here between these two players, and when you put that much pressure on Hannah Hidalgo and she can use her feet to create some kind of advantage on the perimeter, she's almost too quick to send help to at times, because before you know it, she is at the rim.
Right, Amy, it's a good matchup to watch. Girantes knocks down her free throws, makes it a three-point game. Here's Hidalgo, watched by San Antonio. Joyce Edwards operating in the mid-range, gets to the paint, floats it up, can't get it to go. She tried to follow her own, and finally Bree Jones vacuums it in. Girantes attacking, one-legged jump shot off the mark. Pagan is there to clean it up and put it back in.
What a finish over Joyce Edwards, not easy, but runs right to the rim in transition.
Booker down low, kept her footing somehow, and finally Double dribble is called. We couldn't call a travel or double dribble, but they eventually called. And it's a turnover for Team USA.
And once again, Puerto Rico, they find success. It looks like a little helter-skelter, but that's how they're going to have to play here. They look comfortable because they have the chemistry and cohesion.
San Antonio at the nail, rattles it home. First lead of the night for Puerto Rico.
Quick though, still with pace. You find a shot, you confident, you got to take it.
Orange set coming up for Hidalgo. Booker screens. Smith for three. Left it on the front of the rim, and Jones skies for that board. There's Hollingshed. Gigantes running off the Hollingshed screen. Pagan at the nail. San Antonio's left alone for three. Indeed! They're going to call it a 2, foot on the line.
Just inside, but coming off a curl, great feet. And you can't think about where you are. When your feet are in rhythm like that, you got to let it fly.
Puerto Rico settled back into his zone. San Antonio with 8 points and counting. Blakes for three. In and out. Hidalgo chasing down that offensive board. Booker at the nail. Good pass inside, and Edwards finishes.
Great pass, great catch. And with the square up, it looked like there was going to be a shot, and I think the defense got stunned a little bit.
That's perfect zone offense. Get it right to the free throw line. Things open up for you. A steal there by Smith. Blake's ahead to Hidalgo. She turns back around, one-legged jump shot. That's not going to fall for her. San Antonio gave it up to Jones. She's breathing heavily as she crosses the timeline. Blake's watching her. San Antonio with a quick start, the 8 points. Gigantes. She's fouled by Booker. And that will allow some wholesale changes on both sides in this game.
Might be a little battle of the benches tonight, too. Both of these teams are going to roll in with a lot of depth. They believe in their entire rosters. I like this, though, because you want to see the women out there getting up and down and playing hard, but when they're a little gassed, get a break. Let the new ones roll out, and this is a great matchup for that.
It's a benefit of having that depth. Both these coaches are enjoying here in this tournament. Gigantes, Hollingshed. She'll tee up a three. Indeed. And she could give Puerto Rico some of that floor spacing. Could be a different type of game for the Puerto Ricans. Olivia Miles has had a fantastic tournament thus far. So composed at such a young age. 5 to shoot right now for Team USA. Blakes gets to the nail. Left it short. Hollingshed with the rebound. Rosado, the captain of Team Puerto Rico, crosses the timeline. Age 39, such great shape is Pamela Rosado. Roma. Gigantes wanted it, but Roma now caught in a bad area as the shot clock winding down. Rosado tosses it up, can't get it to go. Gigantes had great possession, but couldn't corral the basketball, and Blakes goes back the other way. Olivia Miles to Blakes. They go inside. Van Sluten back to the basket. Looking to go to work. Draws two. Good ball movement. Miles with the up fake. Neatkins for three. Indeed.
There's your ball movement around the zone. That's how you beat it. Neatkins be wide open on that 45. That's an adjustment that Puerto Rico is going to have to make. She's an excellent long-range shooter.
And have to get out to her. She's shooting 43% in this tournament. Again, late clock situation for Puerto Rico, and that's a tie-up. It's Team USA basketball as they had the possession arrow. It's a great job by Blakes being aggressive that time.
Well, everyone talks about her offense. So she can knee up too, a little toughness on there. There's the pass, just so wide open, and that's against his own. 45s are often open unless you're going to go 3-2, and you typically don't see that.
Right.
Speaking of defense,
Lajee Johnson hasn't provided much offense, but her defense has been something to rave about here in Santiago, and that's by design. She doesn't need to score as much as she normally does with her college team. with so much talent around her as Neepkins misses the three. But she's been locked in defensively. Gigantes on the pull-up. That was a wild shot. And Miles will push back the other way. Miles, nice feed inside. Stolke got hit and shot to earn him at the line.
Stolke's such a mobile big. So in transition, she's quick, comfortable. She'll handle as well, but she'll run with you hard. And you saw the reaction, even though she got nailed, almost undercut, which is so uncomfortable. Frustrated, she missed the layup. She expects to make that. She's comfortable playing with contact.
She used to receive those same type of passes from Caitlin Clark. Yeah. Last year, though, her production didn't really decrease without Caitlin in the lineup. 12 points per game, just over 7.5 rebounds.
I don't think she's the only one.
Right. Second team All Big Ten last season with 7 double-doubles. Coming off the bench here tonight for Team USA. 14 on the shot clock for Team USA to work with after it was tapped out of bounds, last touched by Puerto Rico. Neepkins at the 45. Benitez watching her. Neepkins turns the corner. Forces one up, can't get it to go. Van Sluten on the offensive rebound. And Rosado will push back the other way. Johnson trying to navigate through screens and does. This is a Jones three, in and out and over the glass.
Those are those quick shots you can expect, though. You're not seeing too much of Puerto Rico teammates or even coaches saying, slow down, calm down. Again, I think when they see open good shots, and especially like that where it's on secondary look, not quite the first push, but a quick reversal, it's a good shot.
Score on the screen is wrong. It's still 15 all. Until that basket by Olivia Miles to give Team USA the lead. That's 17-15. Benitez. Solis making her AmeriCup debut and senior national team debut for Puerto Rico. Rosado pulls. Can't get it to drop. Flat-footed rebound for Flau'jae Johnson. Johnson got poked by Rosado. And Rosado's going to get an easy lay. And she messed up her steps. Lucky to keep possession. Bree Jones now. And some Melendez. Here's Rosado, a little bit more comfortable with the rock. Over the top of her head pass to Benitez for three. Can't get it to drop. And Van Sluten will turn back and she doesn't have numbers. Flau'jae Johnson above the break three.
So much focus on the catch. All the way across the court, you saw the eyes and a beautiful hold on the follow through too. That's just a nice rhythm shot for Flau'jae.
It's her first three here in Santiago, Chile. Maybe that'll open up the net for her. Rosado. Melendez. Benitez under 5 to shoot. She's going to tee up a three. Can't get it to go. Van Sluten with a strong box out that time.
Yeah, 3 consecutive empty possessions now for Puerto Rico, and Carlin, this is where you can get in trouble against the USA if you start stacking negative possessions and empty ones.
Shot clock unplugged. Miles in her bag. Can't get it to go, and that's how we'll end the first period. Good energy for both teams to start this one. Team USA will take a 5-point lead after the first.
And I know Team USA has played a couple closer first quarters. This one feels a little bit different. It does. This one feels like this Puerto Rican team knows exactly who they are and what they're trying to do. Shooting percentages, especially from long range, not exactly where you want them to be, but I would just ask, do you like the profile? And I think for the most part, both coaches are okay with most of the shots.
Some of the best plays here from the first period of play. And Hidalgo got things going. Trinity San Antonio, you see here with the dime that time. What was her scoring? That opened it up for Puerto Rico. She has 8 points to lead all Puerto Rican scorers at the moment. On the flip side, it's Hidalgo with 5 points to lead the way for Team USA. Both teams getting into the flow of their offense. Some of the shots, you say to yourself, those are good looks, and they normally would fall under normal circumstances.
I thought the Puerto Rico zone was very effective for the most part. USA figured out some, I call it middle of the court, the kill box. You get the ball against the zone in the kill box. You have so many options. USA on that one back cut to Joyce Edwards, you kind of thought they figured it out, but just didn't get back into that type of action. We're able to find those nice 45 threes, 45-degree threes, I should say. 45 threes in the first quarter, that would be fun. But multiple players connecting from there.
In the modern day basketball, wouldn't put it past everyone.
Yeah, it's a challenge someone's willing to meet.
Scan the QR code on your screen right now. Download the app. Courtside 1891. Streams, schedules, scores, and so much more. It is your companion app for the FIBA Women's AmeriCup here in 2025. So a 5-point game right now for team in favor of Team USA. It'll be Puerto Rico basketball to start this second quarter. Benitez on the floor with Rosado, Solis, Melendez, and Gigantes. Here's Solis. Gigantes will come up and use the Solis screen. Stolke in front of her. They kick to the corner. Benitez for three. Can't get it to drop. She's had a couple of good looks. Can't get it to scratch just yet. Van Sluten sees an angle, attacks. Good defense there by Solis. Ball up for grabs. Johnson had it poked out of her hands. It's going to stay here with 10 to shoot. On the floor for Team USA, Flau'jae Johnson, Anna Stolke, Van Sluten, Olivia Miles, and Neepkins. Here's Neepkins. 5 to shoot for Olivia Miles. Behind the back pass to Stolke. Miles is going to have to put it up. She didn't see it.
That's super frustrating in front of your home bench, right? Because that's where you love your teammates to be communicating that shot clock to you, and unfortunately, it just didn't happen over there. But I would say another second chance opportunity, and USA continues to generate those at a very high clip.
They have 5 offensive rebounds and counting so far in this basketball game. Gigantes has Miles on it. Pagan re-screens. Miles navigating through those screens beautifully. Shot clock winding down. Rosado tees it up. Left it short. Neepkins with the flat-footed rebound. Here's Flau'jae and lost control of the basketball. That's a good job there by Rosado. Playing a little cornerback that time to prevent that pass.
Puerto Rico's trying to do some crafty things. They twist a screen up top but don't gain any type of advantage off of it. And so that's where they run into a little bit of trouble there with that forced shot.
Hollingshed back on the floor now for Puerto Rico. The 21 in white. Pagan with a solid screen. This is Hollingshed. Jabs and goes. Over the top of Van Sluten, can't get it to drop. And Reagan Beers, who's into the game for the first time tonight. And she got her first touch of the ball. It's a defensive rebound. Miles to the basket is hit, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Olivia Miles will be a tough cover for Rosado just because, I mean, she's very quick, but Olivia Miles is quick too, and she's smooth with it, like really smooth.
Her understanding of when to find her offense and then find offense for others has been pretty impressive through 2 games here in Santiago.
I loved what she said yesterday after their win in the press conference. She told us that Coach Lawson's been telling them you cannot take 1 minute out there for granted. Just really pouring that into them. And maybe one of her favorite assets of this team sounded like that our bigs like to run in transition. We saw her make some incredible passes on the move, especially to Joyce Edwards, and I hope we get that look again tonight.
Yeah, that no-look pass ended up in the top 10 plays that you can find on social media. Gigantes spinning, Beers in front of her, and a tough look as Beers did a good job of moving her feet and contesting that look. Neepkins from the mid-range, indeed. And Team USA starting to put some baskets together, and it's going to lead to a Puerto Rican timeout.
And this is what we've seen through the first 2 games for USA. They pick up their defense, and it turns into offense. Before you know it, you're down 8-10 points. So it's a great timeout for Puerto Rico. You've got to stay in the fight. And so I imagine they're drawing up one of their best offensive possessions of this game so far.
Let's listen into the Puerto Rican huddle.
like this. Okay, force it. Both of you, and you, go under. Okay, get a screen, Heliga. Get a screen, okay, on the side of her. 2 screens to the other side. Okay, watch it. If they change it, 2 screens to the other side. They're switching. Okay, you go like that. Stagger, baseline screen, and then we go in. Okay, now 42. Force it like this. We're going like this. Both of you. She's making a screen, and then 2 screens to the other side.
That last basket by Neepkins gives Team USA a 9-point advantage here early in the second quarter. And Amy, as you said, while we watch these offensive highlights, it's really been the defense that been sparking that offense.
Quick runs, and Neepkins is definitely a player that you have to find in transition. I know Corey Close will really enjoy having her at UCLA as she transfers in from a great career at Utah.
Velez on the floor right now, watched by Miles. Just did cross the timeline for an 8-second violation. Pagan setting a heavy screen, but Miles was able to navigate through it. San Antonio had the quick 8 points to start the game, gets into double figures with that layup.
Wanted to get to the left side of the court, but everybody kind of anticipated that and jumped to the left, so she makes a read. She's not a robot, she's making a read and takes the right.
Booker at the nail, finds Beers, and she'll go to the line for 2. Once again, that zone for Puerto Rico, finding a soft spot is Maddie Booker. And while the jump shot hasn't fallen for her, she's been able to play make here tonight.
Hollenshed has to be so proactive in that back line of the zone in terms of using her feet. If you get pinned by a player like Reagan Beers in the backside of a zone, it is over. Because even if she doesn't catch the ball or she's past the ball, she's clearing you out. She's eliminating you as a defender. And so your footwork in the backside and the back line of the zone is imperative to success.
Beers playing for Oklahoma last season in the NCAA, 17 points, just under 10 rebounds, and just under a block and a half. A great season for her, and so far here in Santiago has played great defense. There's a foul on Blinks. She bails out Girantes that didn't have much going offensively for Puerto Rico on that possession.
Yeah, nice solid take. Former WNBA player, former first-round draft pick, and by the way, in the fall, that Central Basket tournament, the MVP of the tournament as Puerto Rico won the gold. I had to double check. She averaged 32 points in that tournament, including 40 points in the final game. And so tough against this American team who really prides himself on defense, but I'd like to see her touch the ball a bit.
Yeah, she's a big-time scorer. Beers low post position. Missed it as Pagan created a little bit of resistance that time. San Antonio, Girantes on the hesitation dribble, trying to get past Neepkins, and Neepkins is going to get called for the hook. Neepkins, I thought, did a great job of moving her feet that time and staying in front, but the arm fighting, and she fouls Girantes. Smith will check back into the game, replacing Neepkins.
Take your I'd say one of your premier defenders in Kennedy Smith, and right on Giannis. No surprise, no shocker.
Edwards hits the deck. That ball, they say, was not touched. So it's a backcourt violation.
And that's just a complete implosion there from Puerto Rico, because they knocked the best defender down off a tough screen there. So it's essentially 5-on-4, and unfortunately fumble the ball.
Yeah, the spacing was a little off on that play. It didn't really create the advantage that they needed when Smith hit the deck, and Team USA gives it right back. A tough pass for Beers to catch. Joyce Edwards is going to get the call off the bench at the next whistle. 7-point advantage for the Americans. Hollenshed, San Antonio has adds a hot hand for Puerto Rico. Tosses up another one. That was halfway down. As Madison Booker leads the break. Booker Finds Beers inside. It's stolen by Hollingshed. Numbers for Puerto Rico. Hollingshed right to the rim. No one stopping the basketball that time.
Hollingshed with a brilliant finish, but credit her teammates for staying wide. That really pulled the defense, and it looked like they were very indecisive in making commitments, and it turns into a wide open layup.
Blake's inside was hammered by San Antonio, and she'll go to the line.
Not a wide open layup. A lot of bodies right there, but very aggressive take from Michaela Blake.
Jerry Batista looks on. It's a 13 foul here for Puerto Rico, and he claps the physicality from his team.
They chipped their way back into the game. Got a little tougher defensively, and even plays like that where kind of still on your heels a little bit getting back, but you're not giving up an and one.
Blake misses the second, an offensive rebound for Team USA. If they can hold on to it, it's going the other way. We've seen this a couple of times now where both teams have struggled to kind of keep their grips on that basketball. That's going to be the 5th turnover here for Team USA. Excuse me, the 9th turnover here for Team USA. 5th in the quarter. San Antonio probing. Finds Pagan. Pagan with the footwork. Tried to force it up over Maddie Booker. Couldn't get it to go. Here she is on another opportunity. Sticking with it is Velez. And Velez talking a little junk after that ball went through the hoop.
Relentless effort. A lot of contact on that initial drive, but they just kind of stuck with it. And somehow still remained a 3-on-2. USA just didn't get back.
Edwards for 3. It's not there. Girantes with a good block out to secure that board. San Antonio this side. Velez walks into a 3. Indeed.
Very close to another 3-on-2, and Team USA's got to sprint back on defense in transition.
Edwards the other way, gets it over Pagan. The intensity picking up halfway through the second quarter in this one. A 3-point lead for Team USA in their 3rd game here at the AmeriCup. Puerto Rico's 2nd game. They squeaked out a win against Colombia, trying to stay undefeated, and would love to beat Team USA for the first time at the senior national team level. A foul there will send San Antonio to the line.
Puerto Rico had to come into this matchup quite confident. Just cross-court pass, no one identifies the shooter in transition. Just a little bit late to get back. Call that full-court fishing, catch and release. The nice kind, the kind fishing. But Puerto Rico came in here confident, as they should.
Right.
I already talked about it. 9 of these Puerto Rican players were in Paris competing in the Olympics. This past summer, it's already summer again.
It is.
Last summer. Time flies when you're having fun. Let's not forget this U.S. team. They're younger. They're a younger team, and Kara Lawson talked about it yesterday. She said it is so hard to win these games. And people don't realize at the international level continues to get higher because around the world players are starting to develop at a younger age. She also said, we know that we're beatable, and we should be beatable. This is the highest of competition in the world. And so she's not going to let this USA team get overconfident. Coach Kara Lawson is not going to take it there with her group, and I think they know that. They're just battling it out with a very good, confident Puerto Rican team.
They're in a battle indeed as Puerto Rico showing some pressure. It's a very young U.S. squad with an average age of 20. Not even 21, 20. Puerto Rico, meanwhile, 26 is the average age of this roster. Van Sluten trying to find Edwards down low. Edwards takes the hit, puts it in.
Holds her position through traffic contact. A nice, tough finish.
Velez for 3, ties the game. They gotta identify her. She's hit 2 now from deep. Back to the zone. Edwards now at the nail. Feeds Van Sluten to repay the favor. Van Sluten muscles it in, and she'll go to the line for one more.
Both teams really getting to some strengths. Look at that tough finish, pounding it inside the last 2 possessions for Team USA, and Van Sluten get that ball on her outside hand so she can take all the contact and still finish through.
The work was really done before the catch, Amy, on the block by Van Sloten. Solis picking up the missed free throw. Still a 2-point advantage for Team USA. Velez has hit 2 threes. Now looking to get in her bag. She's one of the best defenders here at the tournament on her, and Hannah Hidalgo. Hollingshead with the floor cleared for her. Little dream shake in the lane. Got hit, and she'll go to the line for 2. It's getting physical out there.
I like it. It's okay.
My type of basketball. It's a 14th foul for Team USA, and they're going to take a timeout. 3:23 remaining in the half. Team USA up 2 here in Santiago, Chile.
Es el momento de la cena. Es el momento de no parar de comer. Es el momento de no parar de beber. La produzcan. A ver. Uy, ese perrito caliente, ese hot dog.
We got to make them make plays over us. Defensively, I want to switch 1 through 5 because that up the touch is fucking us up, okay? So we're switching 1 through 5. If you get caught on a post, it's a full front. But I don't think they're killing us on that, and you guys can guard everybody, okay? We got to get some stops. I want you to focus the last 3.5 minutes on stops. When we go against their zone, all we have to do is get it to the kill spot, and we score, right? High post, strong is working for you. Twist when we pass across and in. We got to get our defense back, though, okay? Let's go.
Some of the sights and sounds from a very intense game. These two nations very familiar with each other at this level. Puerto Rico looking for the upset and their first win at the senior national team level over the Americans.
And you heard Kara Lawson just talk about she wants a 5-all, which means you're switching everything on defense. With this lineup, believes that they're capable, and that means with the screens, you're not going to get pinned.
What a luxury to have to do that. Maya Hollingshead at the line, played in China this past season for Liaoning, averaging just over 6 points per game. She struggled to shoot it from 3 this season in China, her first one out there, but a pretty good 3-point shooter in her own right. Just 30% this season, but much better than that. Back to the zone they go, Puerto Rico. Down low, Edwards tried to find the cutting Van Sloten. Puerto Rico got a hand to it. Still plenty of time for Team USA to work with. It's Edwards at the nail once again. She'll pull up and left it short. Hollingshead gobbles it up. Puerto Rico with a chance to take the lead on this possession. Smith into the game, her first touch. Jones back on the floor. Velez has hit 2 threes. How about another? She left that short. Last touch, they say by Team USA, it's going to stay here for Puerto Rico. Hollingshead and Smith exit. Rosado back on the floor, replacing Velez. So on the floor right now for Puerto Rico is Jones, Melendez, Girantes, Solis, and Rosado. Blakes, Edwards, Hidalgo, Smith, and Van Sloten, the 5 on the floor for Puerto Rico as Van Sloten comes up with the theft. Skipped it to the side for Hidalgo. Hidalgo with a great hesitation. And finds the floater.
And Van Sloten with that skip pass, it kind of forces not a great closeout. A closeout with not a whole lot of control where Hidalgo was able to blow past that.
Smith comes up with the steal. Van Sloten in transition to the basket. Took it strong. No whistle as both players went down. And now Blake's going to get called for the offensive foul as she was holding the arm of Jones.
Jones did not even look back over her shoulder. She pointed at the official and said, "You got that, right?"
And the official indeed acknowledged it with the whistle. When you talk about physicality, when Van Sloten went to the hoop, those are the type of physical plays you see at this level. And a learning experience on that last try for Van Sloten. So here's the Hidalgo play.
Yeah, beautiful floater over top of the rim. I still love how Van Sloot stole the ball, and even at that post position, great handle, and she's comfortable handling under pressure in the open court.
Gigantes working on Smith. That's a tough move. San Antonio comes up with the pickpocket, working on Hidalgo. She slipped on the behind the back dribble. Hidalgo with numbers, and Rosado tracking back to tap that out of bounds as Blake was salivating for a three in the corner.
That's a great hustle from Rosado. Twice now, Puerto Rico looks like they've had really solid opportunities in transition where they've just slipped. They've just lost control of the ball, and that's 4 potential points that you might really need in this game.
Still a 1-point advantage for Team USA. Under 90 seconds to play here in this half. And another turnover for the Americans. Hollingshed gives it right back. Hidalgo. Van Slooten blinks for three. Off the back iron, and Smith mistimed her jump. That leads to numbers for Puerto Rico. Gigantes, Melendez. She's comfortable from there for three. Can't get it to fall. Under a minute to play here in the half. It's Hannah Hidalgo. Van Slooten, top of the key. Edwards, and another turnover for the Americans.
I mean, I know the zone maybe is disrupting rhythm a little bit. And the defense, they've been playing it the whole half now. And so sometimes they're just, these passes are just not connecting.
Yeah, not
both the receiver and the passer.
It's a 12th turnover, by the way, for the Americans in this half. Rosado will tee up a three, way off. And Hidalgo with the shot clock and game clock pretty much identical across the timeline. This could be the final look of the half as Carol Lawson calls out a set. Five to shoot. Hidalgo crosses over on San Antonio. The float not there. Edwards with the putback, missed it. It's a shot clock violation because it never touched the rim. We're showing .1 here in the arena, but both teams are going back to the locker room, so that might be the end of the first half.
Team USA just hasn't been able to consistently execute. You credit Puerto Rico's defense. Even that last possession, it looked like USA was cuddling up for a screen to get that mismatch. And Hidalgo rejected the screen, just didn't use it. Puerto Rico didn't make it easy for her to use, but it turns into a tough shot. And so the Puerto Ricans have come out with, in which you thought, I think everyone thought they were confident, ready to compete, and they certainly have.
It is indeed confirmed the end of the first half. 35-34 your score. You see some of the numbers from the first half in this one. Trinity San Antonio leading all scorers with 12. And Hidalgo with 7 leading the way for Team USA. Turnovers, an issue for both teams. 12 for the Americans, 10 for the Puerto Ricans. As we take a look at some of the best pictures from the second quarter. It started with Neekins in that transition bucket.
Yeah, it looked like Team USA was starting to run away a little bit, 9-11 with that lead, right? And a couple strong finishes. Like San Antonio is, I mean, she is fun to watch, tough to defend. Here's that splitting of the defense, nice finger roll over top of the front of the rim from Hollingshed.
And then Velez came off the bench and provided a spark for Puerto Rico. You see her on the dime with Pagan, but she began to hit a couple of threes. One right there in transition, that one splash. And her defense helping Puerto Rico climb back into this one. Joyce Edwards, I know she's not a pro, but she is such a professional.
Nice finish. Look at those just consecutive, consistent finishes.
Yeah, 6 points for her and counting right here at the half. And give her 4 rebounds to boot as well. And here's a Hidalgo floater that gave her her 7th point.
That's
and again,
nice pass. Yeah, Puerto Rico had numbers on multiple occasions, I thought, on the run there in the second quarter. Probably could have capitalized on a couple more of those opportunities and didn't.
Flossie Johnson hadn't hit a 3 here in Santiago until that one right there. She was able to splash it through. So a score at the half, a 1-point lead for Team USA, 35-34. We'll be back with more here from Santiago, Chile.
Education, health, justice. We sometimes take these simple things for granted. They're not common for all of us. We are all born on the same planet, but not with the same opportunities.
Whatever our gender, color, belief, or capability, we are one. We are all on the same team. Let's convince those who never thought they'd do it that they can. We can. Together, we are stronger. No matter your origin, basketball can bring everyone together. Basketball for good.
That time does a good job of staying in front of Chagas. Good spin there by Garda. She's able to get the teardrop to fall. Wallen. So much youth on the floor for Canada. Wallen getting to the rim. Everyone that stepped into the game for Canada has now scored. Sweeping through on Gonzalez. Lubicic rejected by Valenzuela.
Reynoso will take another look at this one. Reynoso comes from behind. A beautiful block.
Crosses Smith, finds the lane. Van Sloten is there to say absolutely not.
Now turns the corner, using her speed. Top layup by Dave Wilson. Threw it over the top of her head and found an angle.
They've got to be very crafty in their opportunities, and that's about as crafty as it gets.
Rios, what a play off the back of the defender. The USA, I don't think will play her like that anymore. You gotta face out. Miles behind the back. Wow, the no-look pass into Van Sloten. The crowd likes that one. That was pretty.
I was waiting for that, for Olivia Miles to start kind of getting downhill with that crafty pass, and pause right now. Just saw her down on the floor with the bag, looking a little winded.
Hawkins driving, spinning, a whirling dervish of a shot that puts the crowd on mute.
Hawkins spun the opposite way than what she shot. That is an impressive finish. Being guarded closely by Escobar, comes off the screen, puts it up for three. That's a way to end the quarter, Amy.
Confidence.
That is unbelievable. These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world.
Halftime of a pretty good basketball game between Team USA and Puerto Rico. It's a 1-point game right now in favor of the Americans. Two undefeated teams here in Group B battling for an opportunity to top the group in Santiago, Chile. It's the Women's AmeriCup here in 2025. You see Jerry Batista walking back out onto the court. Should be impressed, Amy, with the way that his team performed here in the first half.
A whole lot of heart and grit, absolutely. But that's their style of play, connected group, and so I don't think sometimes when you're playing a really good team, you're kind of on eggshells. Like, you're happy that you're playing hard, but you're kind of waiting for something to, not this team. They actually responded. They went down as much as 9 points and pushed back into it, and so ultra confidence. What I'm the most, I guess, curious to see is the Puerto Rican zone defense chopped up a bit of offense for Team USA, and I'm curious if they just break that pretty quickly a couple times, if that changes. Sometimes you get into the locker room and you kind of get on a whiteboard or whatever, and it's harder to do in game, and so I'm curious to see if you just get some cuts and that ball popping into the kill zones. We'll see.
Let's listen to Coach Batista.
Reach your back, change sides, go to the side, okay? Reach your back to her. You're coming this way. She's gonna beat you back, okay? Dribble alive. Now she's gonna make it and beat down to Maya. Coming up to the corner, okay? You pass the ball to her, okay? So you have this space to create, okay? If they help, you got this, okay? Listen up. You're going this way, and I want you, as soon as she put the ball on the floor, you're going home. Para acá, up al medio, para acá, so she can go to the basket. Okay? Take care of the ball, guys. Take care of the ball. Okay? 5 on defense. Set up the ball.
Scan a QR code on your screen right now to download the courtside 1891 app. Live streams, extended highlights, live scores, the box scores, and everything under the sun here in international basketball. It's your companion app for the Women's AmeriCup, and an app that Amy and I have been giving a workout while we've been here in Chile. Courtside 1891, your home for FIBA basketball. It'll be American basketball to start this third quarter. Up 1.
Kiera Lawson making a change and going a little bit bigger, starting Reagan Beers here in the second half.
And Olivia Miles as well, who started on the bench. So Miles, Beers, Edwards, Booker, and Blakes will start the second half for Team USA. San Antonio, Hollingshed, Pagan, Gigantes, and Jones, the 5 on the floor for Puerto Rico. It'll be Madison Booker. Kicks it out, Olivia Miles. Gets handed back to her by Edwards. Miles stepping back, can't get it to fall. Gigantes with the rebound.
And even though they were set on defense, it wasn't in the zone. Puerto Rico came up and man looked.
Here's San Antonio, leading scorer in the game right now with 12 points. Hollingshed trying to work on Edwards. Dream shake, fall away. It's an air ball.
It was very, very intentional when you were attacking Joyce Edwards one-on-one. And I'm not sure fading away is a great option, because even with her length, she can still contest as long as Hollingshed is. She's going against a tremendous athlete.
Here's Edwards on the other end. Good patience down low, forced it up, and she's gonna have to earn him at the line.
That's called put out your hand and get a stamp to club post. Look at that, the power dribble, nice and low, the pump fake, and then the finish. That is just fundamental down low basketball.
6 points and counting for Joyce Edwards after that missed free throw.
You know, old school, it's a good school.
It really is.
Sometimes, you know, I feel like that stuff at times have gotten away from the game a little bit. I mean, in particular, that power dribble. You saw her center of gravity down. As you can tell, I get really excited with that kind of stuff.
She's poised beyond her age. She's about to enter her sophomore season in the NCAA. Came alive in the championship game against UConn and announced herself to the world. And here she is now in the Americas, playing at the AmeriCup. Senior national team level. Gigantes driving, can't get it to go, but somehow gets her own miss. And then there's a foul on Beers as she caught Gigantes with an elbow.
Gigantes did a nice job of actually attacking Beers. Look at that. Went right after her as soon as she saw that Beers was coming out to the perimeter to close out.
That was a pro move there by Gigantes.
It is, and it chops the game up a little bit. Also just, I mean, you draw a foul on a very high level, big body down under.
So putting some time back on the shot clock. That'll be Puerto Rico basketball. San Antonio will inbound. Hollingshed in traffic, and she's fouled. Second team foul here in the quarter for Team USA.
This is not a great defensive possession. Right now, for USA, Puerto Rico is making hard cuts. They are the aggressor. They're actually seeking the contact, and they're winning those battles.
Hollingshed over the top of Edwards, can't get it to go. Pagan knew she couldn't catch it, so she tapped it back out for a fresh 14. Gigantes draws two. Had it poked out of her hands. There's 5 to shoot. Gigantes penetrates, one-legged jump shot. Blake's blocked in. Beers blocks another one. And a great defensive effort that time by Team USA. Booker looking to drive baseline. Gigantes moving her feet to stay in front of her. High-low pass. Beers inside. Edwards rejected by Gigantes. Gigantes on the drive the other way. Lost control of the basketball and she traveled.
It almost looked like she was predetermining what she wanted to do before she got into the action and fumbled that ball.
A good shift, quick shift there by Reagan Beers as she hits the bench. Stolke in the game for her now. The zone once again for Puerto Rico. It's giving Team USA some trouble. That's a way to get them out of it as Booker drills the three. Hollingshed fighting through some screens. Now surveying the D. Gigantes using the Hollingshed pick. At the nail is Hollingshed. Can't get it to go. And Miles looking to push the other way. Fires a pass to Stolke. What a look!
I'd be pumped up too. What a beautiful read, pass, textbook. I mean, if you're a post player, you have got to love playing alongside Olivia Miles, because if you run and sprint, she will look for you. She will find you. And why not? When you have that skill set, you should share it with the world.
Timeout on the floor, 7:11 remaining in the third. Let's listen into the Puerto Rican huddle.
This play. You're gonna do this. You're gonna pass the ball to Bree. You're gonna pass the ball to Bree. Start here. Pass the ball to Bree. Okay. Cut. Go get the ball. Pass it back. Clear. Got it? You're here again. Work to get the ball. As soon as she passes it, get in. Okay. Come get the ball. You pass it. Go through. Pass it back. Flare action. Okay. Vamos. Flare action. No. Keep going here.
Here's the Miles look.
Look at that, one hand off the bounce, but then also on time, on target. You leading Stolke right there. That's so difficult. The degree of that is so difficult, and that's why you hope young players, I'm saying a lot this week when it comes to watching Olivia Miles and her passing ability, but this is why young players, sometimes it's boring to sit there and pass off the wall and pound the ball and do all that stuff, but it's because then you can do that on that stage. It's so fun to watch.
You've called it. She's made a spectacular pass in every single game here so far in Santiago, Chile. And I guarantee that one will make the top 10 list when it rolls out tomorrow morning. Let's see what Puerto Rico now run out of the timeout. It'll be Jones pulling up in front of Stolke. Missed it. Hollingshed never touched the rim. She's going to have to shoot it. Doesn't know it. And it's a shot clock violation. And the American bench is fired up right now with the effort they're receiving defensively. Once again, here's the Miles pass. That was a beautiful angle to look at it.
I could watch that all day. Thanks, guys. Keep it coming.
Miles looking at his zone. Finds Stolke again. And she's fouled. She'll go to the line. Olivia Miles' connection with Stolke looking pretty right now for Team USA.
And Stolke, weak side on his zone, that used to be one of my favorite positions down low, because if you can pin like that and you play with an excellent passer, it's a quick pass, it's a quick read, but those two are very connected.
You mentioned about things being a lost art. The entry pass is slowly becoming a lost art. Miles perfected it that time with a perfect touch, kind of leading Stolke to the net. All she had to do was put it up.
Stolke does a lot of work with her feet before that pass to even create that lane. But this is where, when I'm sure maybe the zone offense was talked about a bit in that USA locker room, and that's something that is almost always there, especially if that back line falls asleep a little bit. It's a quick duck and step.
8-point advantage for Team USA as Stolke split the pair. Melendez back on the floor for Puerto Rico. Pagan has deep post position on Miles. Takes the hit and finishes. And Rosado almost coming up with a steal there on the long pass. Booker had to come to the basketball there. Her foot was kind of stuck in quicksand. Rosado almost took advantage of it. Booker tees up the three. Can't get it to go. Neekins inside. Touched it last. It'll go the other way. Stolke not allowing an easy pass to Pagan. Able to get out in front. And again, the American bench appreciating the effort.
It's not kind of Rosado say my bad as she turned around. It's just got to be a little bit more sharper, casual with the ball, and that's both passer and receiver. Stolke's going to make you pay every time. She's hungry for that rock.
Rosado off the drag. Good job by Stolke moving her feet. Booker read that pass and stole it. And now pushes the other way. Booker pinballed and gets fouled. She'll go to the line for two.
Booker looked like she was serving to make a read and saw a lane right in front of her. So then it becomes full steam ahead, and Puerto Ricans wanted to travel, so you see the reaction. Surprise, surprise. The team that got called for a foul doesn't think it's a foul. But if you're Puerto Rico, then I would love to see them attack and get downhill on their next offensive possession. They've got to show that as well.
Booker drains those two free throws. Hasn't had the offensive explosion thus far in Santiago. The team really hasn't needed it, but you know she's capable. Gigantes forcing her way to the rim that time.
And there's your downhill attack on the other side. I could have told you that was going to probably be the primary look.
It's the 13th foul now for Team USA. Pagan will sit Benitez into the game. So Coach Batista adding some more shooting on the floor right now for Puerto Rico.
The smaller lineup, and so very interested to see what defensive look Puerto Rico is going to show. I doubt they sit in a zone because this is a very small lineup. Well, USA's lineup's not at its biggest either.
So Gigantes will sit. And the little bit of size Puerto Rico had on the floor is now replaced, as you have Velez on the floor, smaller player.
Yeah, I said they just got a little smaller too.
And to your point, Amy, they're not going to sit back in that zone. They're going to match up. Miles. around Stolke. Booker, mid-range jump shot. That's pure.
Yeah, when you go smaller, you expect a lot more pressure than that. Even in that mid-range spot, you have to be a bit more present on those catches. She didn't get screened or pinned off.
Rosado watching Stolke. Ball up for grabs. Who wants it? Van Sloten gobbles it up. Numbers for the Americans. Booker cut off. Hands it inside. Van Sloten banging. Big time move for Van Sloten. Count it, and she'll go to the line for one more.
There's great body control and great patience from Van Sloten. See if you get a look at it. That nice, again, just like the Joyce Edward, that power dribble, stay low, the pump fake to get the defender up, and then all your focus goes onto that backboard to complete the and one play.
Those extra reps in the weight room paying off that time for Van Sloten. 12-point advantage for Team USA, their largest lead of the night. Valles can't get that to go. Stolke gobbles up the board. Booker could not catch up to that pass by Miles. She's frustrated with herself on that one.
And Puerto Rico really needs to find some offense here. They're in a little bit, I'd say, dangerous territory.
Yeah.
Double-digit lead for Team USA, and this is where they like to take off, right? When they get up to that double-digit, it tends to be that 11, 12-point lead that turns into 20-plus very quickly. And so, big opportunity to respond here for Puerto Rico.
Valles swing her elbows. Miles almost caught one. Just got out of the way of it. Melendez. Solis watched by Stolke. Rosado running hard to the basketball. Has the bigger Stolke on her. Valles will take a three. Can't get that to fall. One and done. America going back the other way. Under 4 to play in the third. Biggest lead of the game for the Americans. Neepkins trying to extend it, and does. A 15-point spread in favor of Team USA. High fives, low fives, and smiles all around as they head to the huddle. Timeout on the floor. Puerto Rico need to talk, and we'll eavesdrop on the conversation.
42 first. Watch it first, okay, on 42. And then after that, you're here. Okay, tie it up. Go like this. Get the ball, screen, pass, pick and roll. Go as soon as you're going, okay? Make contact, lift, okay? Roll, Pamela. Vas a hacer vas a meterte para la esquina, Jackie. You're going to the other side as soon as she's going. Se vaya. Sí, pero no quiero que sea Pamela. Quiero que sea Jackie. As soon as she's coming, Pamela is going to the corner.
Well, you see the run out and the early offense here for Team USA. The Neepkins three gives them a 50-point lead, the largest of the game. They're currently on a 13-0 run, and once again, Olivia Miles able to spray it out and find an open shooter.
Now that behind the back, that's where it starts. Breaks down defender in front of her, creates a mismatch, and a celebration. I think Olivia knows that, right? Like, yep, you get the assist and the play's completed because of the beautiful shot, but that's a very unselfish play.
Her 6th assist of the night. Melendez slips, keeps her balance. Now crossing over, working on Van Sloten, and falls completely to the floor. And another turnover here for Puerto Rico.
When your offense is not flowing and you're missing shots or turning the ball over, this is where, as a team, you come together and talk about stops. Tough togetherness on the defensive end. It looks like we're seeing that zone again.
We are. That was the 15th turnover for Puerto Rico here in this game. Extending it a little bit as Neepkins stares at two bodies. Smith for three. Front of the rim. Van Sloten is there. Couldn't corral the rebound.
Puerto Rico, it almost looks like they're going to be content at times with settling, like giving up that outside shot, hoping it's a miss. The more stagnant it can get, the better.
Yeah. Well, blocking out in the zone, as you know, Amy, so important. Puerto Rico's got to keep Team USA to 1 and done. Meanwhile, on the offensive end, it's Rosado who drills a 3. That puts an end to the run, which was at 13-0. Olivia Miles with the answer.
It looks so easy for her, too. Calm, cool, and collected on the catch, and that was with range. That was a couple feet out. You saw a little extra dip in her knees to get the lift.
Brianna Jones. Roma was trying to roll, but she was caught up by Miles. Miles saying she was slapped in the back of the head. The foul's going to be on her. It's the 4th team foul for Team USA here in the quarter. So both teams a foul away from being in the penalty. Hidalgo back on the floor. And the former college teammates now in the backcourt, Miles and Hidalgo. That's Rosado with possession. Roma with a solid screen. She rolls. Rosado tees it up. Can't get it to go. Stolke with the rebound. Stolke had that poke out of her hands. Melendez read that well. And here is Melendez out on the run. Jones, step back 3 on the way. That was a tough look as she left it on the front rim. Van Sluten at the nail. Turns, fires. Miles sprays this side. It's Hidalgo for 3. Indeed. The offense starting to flow for the Americans. An 18-point advantage. Under 90 seconds to play here in the 3rd. Benitez throws to Rosado. A strong screen there by Roma. Rejected Stolke, but she gets called for the foul.
Well, that's a gutsy take from Rosado. Puerto Rico has scored 6 points in this quarter, and so while the offense is flowing for U.S., I'd say the defense is too. And so that's your senior captain, leader, veteran, all that making a play. But look at the catch and release from long range.
And once again, here's a Hidalgo 3 from the corner. So back to live action. Rosado will make the free throw. That previous foul wasn't on Stolke. They say the Stolke block was clean. The foul ended up being on Olivia Miles. Miles wanted to challenge, but Coach Lawson says, you know what, let's just play it out.
And I say this because I'm sitting over here, I'm not out there playing. I think I like when coaches hold the challenges.
Sure.
Because you just don't know what happens at the end of the game. And we've seen it now at the pro level many a times when you don't have that timeout or you don't have that challenge at the end of the game, and it could cost you dearly.
Velez almost poking it out of Blake's hand. She was able to get back possession. Edwards back on the floor. Skips it to Neepkins. Neepkins, a 2. In and out. Roma puts the clamps on a rebound. Velez has Edwards on the switch. She wants Roma to go but down low. She has a smaller Blake's on her. This is Smith at the top of the key. That's a great block by Hidalgo.
That looked like Hidalgo was going to get beaten even at her size, but that tremendous effort to almost reach behind her to tip that ball.
They say it was last touched by Puerto Rico, so they're claiming that Hidalgo didn't actually get the block. It was just a great contest. Under 30 to play here in the 3rd. Hidalgo staring at a 2-3 zone. Orange set. Now Beers will restrain. Hidalgo with the floater. Can't get it to go. Beers, strong rebound and put back. Shot clock unplugged as Velez crosses the timeline. Blake's all over her. Velez gonna have to put it up. Does. Good if it goes. And it doesn't. And that's how we'll end the 3rd. Team USA flexing their muscles on both sides of the floor here in the third period, and they'll take an 18-point advantage to the fourth.
It's a great sign of maturity for this young USA team who won that third quarter 25-8, who responded out of the locker room, who got some key stops that turned into great runouts. And talk about the youth of this team, but what a response. And Puerto Rico is not going to feel good about competing with Team USA for half a basketball game, right? Like, they expect to be there the entire time. They're not out of it yet. 18-point game. Once again, you have to hope you can test the youth of a young USA team and see if you can push back into this.
Take a look at some of the best pictures and highlights from the first 3 quarters of play. Beautiful pass from Miles to Stolke and the finish. And we saw the Miles-Stolke connection on a couple of buckets in the third. For some of the offense from Puerto Rico, very few plays effective in that third quarter. And Team USA and their ball movement picked up in the third, no question.
Yeah, and sometimes as a team, when you're wired to compete so hard, I think stops pump you up a little bit more too, right? Like, you just, there's something, the pride factor of starting to come up with stops, and now this team is starting to have some fun. We love to see that for Olivia Miles, because she's not celebrating her own bucket there. Like, she's celebrating her teammate's bucket.
Been a great leader so far here through 2 games and 3 quarters. QR code on your screen will take you to your app store. You can download Courtside 1891, stream, schedule, scores, and so much more from every FIBA event, including this one right here in Santiago, Chile. The Women's AmeriCup in 2025. Take a look at Blake's. It was played well defensively, knocked down some key threes early in the first. San Antonio coming back onto the floor for Puerto Rico as we start the fourth quarter. Gigantes on the floor with Roma, Benitez, Pagan, and San Antonio. India Pagan for 3. Indeed, a good start there for Puerto Rico. Hidalgo pushes quickly. Blakes will tee it up. Can't respond. Pagan with the strong rebound. Edwards comes up with the steal and keeps it alive. But then Reagan Beers puts it out of bounds. That's great hustle there by Joyce Edwards.
Tenacious on the offensive glass, but then on the other end, that first hit from Puerto Rico, that's huge. In the second quarter, talk about their low scoring, they were 2 for 14 from the field, where the U.S. was 8 for 14. They both taken the exact same number of shots. It just went a little cold. I thought they were challenged a little bit more as well.
Defensive intensity definitely turned up a notch by Team USA. That's been their calling card so far in this tournament. And there you see it right there is Booker with a good contest, forcing an air ball. Blakes, Booker for 3. Trying to guide it in with her hip, but couldn't get it all the way there. Beers, bounce pass, Hidalgo, Edwards.
Oh, Hidalgo retained possession of the ball and then made that whole sequence happen.
Edwards now with 9 points and counting. She had 13 against Colombia. Gigantes, Roma shows the up fake and then lost her footing as Booker comes away with the theft. Here's Hidalgo. Inside, Beers, good steal. That was a foul. It's going to be called on Pagan.
And there's your post entry that you were talking about too. And it's always helpful when you have such a great post player in Reagan Beers, because she knows how to use her body to create the passing angle. That was a little bit of a tougher angle to me, because I thought Beers was actually turned in a little bit and it wasn't quite a 45, but because she still establishes and then holds that position, it's a quick pass from Hidalgo, and it's just a really finer little details of the game that we really love.
I was going to say, that's the stuff that we love. Sitting here watching this basketball game. The highlights are cool, but that's a highlight to us. Pagan, who hit a 3 from that spot. Booker closed out on her quickly. Benitez kicks it back out to the top. Gigantes with a pull-up three. Line drive three falls. That was a tough shot. Hidalgo looking to respond. Too strong. Benitez had it for a second and lucky that Pagan was right there to corral. Gigantes trying to look for offense a little bit more. Solis is going to get called for the offensive foul as Blakes was establishing position and she got dumped. You see how engaged the bench is as everyone on the American bench hopping up and congratulating the effort.
They've been really consistent and I think proud to say of their balance. And so that's, nobody's not happy because they're not out there, right? Everyone, team efforts.
San Antonio comes up with the steal. Hollingshed running with her. Should be an easy layup for Hollingshed, who converts. And Stolke will come off the bench for Team USA and wait for the next whistle to enter. Beers sets a solid screen for Hidalgo. Blinks to the corner, and now Edwards facing up. Throws it over the top of the D. Smart play there by Booker. Knew she couldn't catch it, so just tapped it to Beers.
Hollingshed got caught in the middle a little bit, and I think tried to get back and deflect it, but wow, that was fun.
22 assists in the game for Team USA. They're up 16. Solis carving out some space in the paint, and Beers is going to get called for the foul. So here's the last play here by San Antonio with the steal. She was able to read that in the zone, and you see Hollingshed hustling into your picture.
Well, that right there, that is what will be necessary for Puerto Rico to get back in this game. They're not going to be able to afford to walk the ball up. Everything they're going to have to do right now is with pace. That doesn't mean under control, but you're down against a really solid defense. You've got to capitalize quickly on your opportunities.
It's also much easier to score against a non-set defense. Team USA has been able to settle in the half court. They've made it tough for Puerto Rico thus far. But at least we'll check into the game and they'll extend their defense here. Will Puerto Rico. Hidalgo gets over the timeline to make it easy for the Americans. Van Sluten on the floor with Hidalgo, Booker, Stolke, and Blakes. Hidalgo penetrates. Nice pass inside to Van Sluten. Hollingshed, Belis, Solis, San Antonio, and Jones, the 5 on the floor for Puerto Rico. Here's Solis at the nail, looking to go to work on Stolke, who was doing a great job of staying in front of her. That was great defense that time by Hannah Stolke. Blakes for 3. Can't get it to go. Belis grabs and goes. Numbers for Puerto Rico. It's San Antonio for 3. Can't get it to fall. She's going to track it down. And Hollingshed on the logo. Jones tried to find it to Solis. She does. Blake's doing a great job giving up plenty of size and comes up with the steal. Belis gets it right back. Solis, an awkward shot that falls, and even she has to smile about it.
Puerto Rico just not giving up on the play. Michaela Blake's excellent defense. Looks like that ball's getting pushed out the other way. A little scramble, but look at the tough finishing. I like that Solis understood, like, you got to come up with some big plays right now. And so she really attacked Hidalgo. Obviously a big size advantage in the paint. It almost looked like she was going for the end one, right? She almost initiated that contact. It was really smart read there.
Olivia Miles, Deepkins, and Flau'jae Johnson on the floor now. Being subbed in on that last whistle. Solis trying to complete the three-point play and does. Roma will check in for Solis. Smith on the floor for Puerto Rico.
And you wonder if you're going to see a little bit of full court pressure at some point here from Puerto Rico. Because right now, USA can take their time advancing the ball and then get to their half-court offense. Look at them moving the ball around there.
Flau'jae Johnson for 3. Too strong. Van Sluten with the strong rebound inside. Kicks it back to Flage. Stolke sprays it this side. Neatkins, Miles at the ball fake. Flage with 5 to shoot, falling away. Under 5 to play in the game for Puerto Rico. And by the way, they only have 1 timeout remaining in this contest. Team USA has all 3 of theirs. Jones, Roma. Hollingshed, who's been quiet tonight. 2 to shoot. Velez for 3, got it to the rim. Flage will clear. Johnson right to the basket. Tough layup, can't get it to fall.
Watch this possession. Puerto Rico on that last offensive possession, they were moving the ball east to west. And no one really looking to get downhill or attack. And that's where you got to go to the rim. You've got to get into the hoop right now.
Got to put pressure on the rim. Let's see if Smith does that. Here she's on the drive. Nice move, but couldn't get it to finish. Miles to Neatkins. Neatkins will kick it back out to Miles, and she'll slow things down a little bit. Stolke down low. Hollingshed did a good job of not allowing that entry pass, and Smith picks it up and draws a foul. Foul's going to be on Stolke. It's only the 13th foul for Team USA here in this 4th. And that will bring Reagan Beers back on the floor for Stolke.
And Carlin, you kind of get this feeling that Puerto Rico has to score on this possession right here. You're under the 4-minute mark, 15-point game. It's already tough enough. Impossible, no. Let's not forget the Eurobasket final just last night. Can't talk about that one enough. Belgium down 12, 3 minutes left, and they actually come back and beat Spain to win. Possible, but you have to be almost perfect right here.
You do. Velez, that jump shot is perfect. Miles with pace going back the other way. No look pass. It touched 2 American hands and goes out of bounds.
So there's your sequence. The score, the stop. Can you get another score? Stack possessions.
Trying to put some pressure on Team USA. They have yet to be in a close game late in the 4th quarter. This is as close as they've been in the 4th period in all 2 of their games. 3, excuse me. With this one being their 3rd. Jones pulls at the top of the key. Can't get it to fall. It's been a struggle for her tonight. Flage Johnson weaving through traffic back the other way. Neatkins for 3. Indeed. Release. Aroma left alone, trying to respond for 3. Can't get it to go. Jones with the offensive rebound. Comes off the Roma screen. Solis thought about the 3. Will pull up at the foul line instead. Can't get it to go. Jones mistimed her jump, so it lands in the hands of Neatkins. Van Sluten wants the entry pass to Beers. And Olivia Miles screaming at her team saying, slow things down, let's use some clock. Neatkins tees it up. Again! Back-to-back triples from Neatkins.
Same spot, too. Left side 45. And that's the one when you're Puerto Rico, you watch it on film and say, okay, first one, but not the second.
Equaling the largest lead of the game right now is Team USA. Velez gallops to the rim that time.
Big time finish. And let's remind everybody, point differential is absolutely going to matter. And so Puerto Rico really continues to compete.
Van Sluten had her pass ricochet back to her, and then she finishes. 90 seconds remaining in this basketball game. Puerto Rico with possession. And Smith on the 45, guarded by Johnson. Jones using the Roma screen. On the baseline, draws 2. The ball movement by Puerto Rico for Smith. It's blocked by Flage Johnson. What a recovery defensively by Flage. Miles zero-stepping her way to the rim. Defense turning into offense, largest lead of the game now for Team USA.
You're expecting some kind of witchcraft from Olivia Miles, and she says, I'm going to take this one myself. Give you a little something with it, but
the entire repertoire on display for Miles. And Solis drills a three. Or get some substitutions here late in this game. Here it is, Amy.
You really have, here it is. I mean, I was really excited. I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting here going, what's she gonna do? There was a couple different options. I thought she was going back to Johnson on the wing, but the nice step there and the finish, little scoop off the glass. You really have to credit Team USA's defensive effort in the second half. They come out with a different layer of intensity there, and that third quarter really jammed Puerto Rico up.
Johnson's miss lands in the hands of Velez. Roma rolls. Lonnie Crooks into the game for the first time tonight. And Crooks doing a good job there defensively, causing a turnover. And Blakes will just dribble this one out. Impressive performance here for Team USA as they pick up their third win here in Santiago, Chile, and remain perfect. Defeating Puerto Rico once again at the AmeriCup. Olivia Miles was terrific in this one, as she high-fives her teammates, and they celebrate an 80-62 win here in Santiago, Chile.
And you would expect Team USA's coaching staff to be really proud of this one tonight. They were tested and challenged a little bit more than we've seen those first two games. They had to respond, they had to execute a little better, and had to dig deep down to make some plays, particularly in that third quarter, and they absolutely did to earn this win.
See the huddle there for Puerto Rico as we get our final stats here tonight. Puerto Rico being clapped off here by some of the Puerto Rican fans that have made the trip. Was a really brilliant effort defensively, Amy, that you've called out a couple of times for Team USA in that second half. It was a one-point game reminder at the halftime break, and you see Team USA walk away with an 18-point win. Meekins, the leading scorer here tonight, knocking down a couple of triples. Hidalgo got to double digits. Miles with 9 points. The top three scorers for Team USA.
And another display of great balance.
And now they'll celebrate with some of the locals here in Chile and sign some autographs, take some selfies. That's been one of the fun things to see each and every single team do here in the AmeriCup. The young fans will remember this for a very, very long time, especially here in Chile, where they're trying to reignite their basketball program, their women's basketball program that had so much success back in the 1950s, 1960s. It's been a long time since they've been able to play at this level. To host this tournament could really change some lives.
You got the sense of passion from day one with this country. And by the way, you didn't mention it, with the big news today, WNBA expansion, 3 more teams. More spots, more opportunities, and so many young people, young girls are going to want to have a shot at that league at one point, right? And now there's going to be a lot more opportunity for that. Maybe we'll see some Chilean basketball players in the WNBA one day.
No question about it. We'll definitely see some of these women on these highlights in the WNBA at some point, both on Team USA and maybe even some Puerto Ricans. Team USA now moves to 3-0 here at the AmeriCup. And we'll have the updated standings in just a second. They'll top Group B. They have one more game remaining here at the AmeriCup in Santiago, Chile, and that will be against Mexico. They'll have the off day on July 2nd, so they play 4 straight days. With no break.
They will get Mexico's best effort, because Mexico was not happy today with what they turned it on at the end, but it was shoulda, woulda, coulda. It was at the end, and it was too late. And so Mexico will be fired up to compete and try to give Team USA their first loss of this FIBA AmeriCup edition.
And pardon me, I misspoke. Mexico will play Puerto Rico tomorrow, then they'll play Team USA on the 2nd. So Team USA does indeed have the rest day tomorrow after playing 3 straight games. Let's take a look at the updated standings here in Group B after the final game of 4 here today. Group B shakes out like this. Team USA undefeated. They top the group and have essentially guaranteed themselves a trip through to the knockout stage. Will happen this weekend. Everyone else fighting for an opportunity to get to that knockout stage later on this week. Another dominant performance for Team USA, an 18-point advantage. They'll take the win and head to 3-0. For Amy Audibert, I'm Carlin Gay. We'll see you shortly for more FIBA AmeriCup action.